Yo, what is up, guys? Welcome back. It is day 3 of the daily upload streak of 365 days. I hope we can reach the goal. Anyways, I'm back at it with another story. I just got to start off by saying do not repeat any of my actions in this story. This is purely for your entertainment purposes. With that said, I hope you enjoy the video. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and comment on any feedback you have. Enjoy the video. All right, so this story time takes place about 2 years ago while I was living in Nebraska. I can't really just start off with like the day of the incident. I kind of got to give some background, and the background involves this one kid. We're gonna name him Jared, okay? So Jared, he liked to talk a lot of shit, okay? And I mean a lot of shit. Like he would just constantly talk shit, but then the second you said anything back, he got all offended and upset and just, started acting like a little baby. And so when I moved to Nebraska, I moved in towards the end of the school year. It was seventh grade, and I moved there, and Jared was already going to the school. And at first, he was kind of nice, and then he just, he turned into a dickhead, started talking shit and everything. And I kept calling him out for it, and like telling him, I'm like, bro, you gotta knock your shit off, or I'm gonna beat you. I'm gonna beat the fuck out of you. And I'm not proud of that, but that was my mentality at the time. That is not at all the type of mentality anybody should have. Everything could be resolved peacefully if done so properly. And so with that being said, he did not listen. He kept talking shit, right? And so seventh grade ended, and I didn't really see him again until the next school year. And so then when eighth grade comes around, he kept on his bullshit, right? And so now we can skip to the actual day of the incident. So this day all starts out normal, right? I wake up, I go take a shower, I get dressed for school, and then I go to school. And so the start of the school day was all normal, right? I show up at school, I go hang out with my friends, I eat breakfast, and then the bell rings and I go to class. And so I shared a couple of classes with Jared. But like in the classes necessarily, he wasn't as bad because I mean the teacher's right there and can hear everything that he's saying and shit. And so like he's not trying to get in trouble because well he's a little bitch. I'm gonna be honest. But he wouldn't do shit in class. But then as soon as you like went out in the hallway and shit, he would. And so I go to my first class of the day, and I believe it was math. I believe it was algebra 1. I don't remember 100%. Um I I don't know. But so I just hit my fucking mic, yo. But so I go to class and I sit down, and Jared's dickhead ass is already in the class. And I sat close to him. I don't remember if it was right next to him, a couple seats away, and I don't know. But immediately I sit down, and he starts his shit because the teacher's on the opposite side of the room at this moment because class hasn't started yet. So she's sitting at her desk, and Jared's over here just whispering, being a dickhead, just on some bullshit like always, bro. And I'm just like, Jared, can you shut the fuck up? I'm not trying to do this today, bro. I'm actually having a decent morning, bro. And he's like, yeah, whatever, fuck you, blah, 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 you're a bitch, just stupid ass shit, bro. Like, he wasn't even actually offensive. It was more just annoying. And so I'm just like, all right, whatever. And I'm ignoring him, bro. And at some point, he says something about my mom, bro. And I'm just like, wait, whoa, whoa, whoa. All right, now we got an issue, bro. Don't be saying shit about my mom, bro. Like, that's too far. Talk shit on me all you want, right? I don't give a fuck what you say about me. But you talk shit about my mom or anybody in my family, then we got issues, right? And I'm like, hey, shut your fucking mouth right now. And the teacher heard that, and she's like, hey, watch your mouth. And I'm like, sorry, he's talking shit about my mom. And he's like, no, I'm not. I swear to God. And she's like, Austin, watch your mouth. And then she's like, Jared, don't be talking bad about people. And then he's like, all right, I'm not, I promise. And she's like, all right. And then, class starts like 30 seconds later. And Jared, he's not saying anything now because class is starting. And so class goes by, boring as hell. To be honest, I hated that class. Thinking back to it now, it was math. I remember the teacher. Yeah, I didn't really like the class. It wasn't necessarily the teacher. I just didn't like the class itself. She wasn't a bad teacher. Shouts out to you, Mrs. Teacher Person. That's what we're gonna call you. And then anyways, so class ends and we go on to the next class, which I don't have with Jared. And I don't have any classes with Jared until after lunch, which is some I don't even remember what class it was. It was some extra class that like it was just an extra credit thingy. And so I go into that class, right? We're just gonna skip the rest of the day. Nothing important happened. So I'm just gonna skip it because my brain is just all over the place. I've had to do like 15 retakes, bro. It's just my mind's just all over the place, chat. I called y'all chat. See what I'm saying? Anyways, back to the story, right? And so I walk into this class and I have to sit right next to fucking Jared in this class, right? And so I'm just sitting next to Jared, bro, and he's on his bullshit, bro. And I'm like, Jared, shut the fuck up, dude. Like dead ass, bro. Like I'm getting fed up with your shit. Like keep it up and I'm gonna whoop your ass the second school gets out, bro. I'm not playing, bro. And he's like, yeah, whatever. And the teacher wasn't in the class. He was out getting water. He always went and got water right when class started, bro. um and so teacher didn't hear that, and class starts. We go through class. He's not really doing shit because teacher's there. And after this class we have PE. And so in PE was the class where Jared would be on his bullshit the most because it was always loud in the gym and teachers couldn't hear him talking specifically over all the other voices and everything going on, And so we go into PE, not even into PE. We're in the locker room changing, and he's nonstop talking shit, bro. Jared he thinks he's funny or insulting or something, dude. But like, it's honestly just sad, bro. I think he just wanted attention, to be honest with y'all. But and so he's on his bullshit, and he's fucking targeting me, and I'm just sitting there, and I'm like, all right, whatever, because he's not bringing up my mom anymore, right? Yet. And so he's talking his shit, and I'm like, Jared, bro, do you got fucking issues? Does your daddy beat you with a belt or something? Is that the only attention you get at home? That's deadass what I said. It wasn't exactly like that, but it was something like that, same fucking gist, different words. And so he's like, what? And I'm like, you fucking heard me, bro. And he's like, no, bro, why you talk about my dad? I'm like, bro, don't even. You was talking about my mom earlier. So much worse than that, bro. And he's like, nah, bro, like, you talking about my dad. And I'm just like, bro, you're a hypocrite and a dumbass, bro. Oh, my Lord, dude. And so then, like, I'm just like, whatever. And I leave the locker room because I'm done changing. And I go into PE. And so we're just sitting there, and Jared he comes up to me right out of the locker room, and he starts talking shit about my mom, talking about how, like, he fucked my mom last night and some shit. And I'm just like, dude, she's across the country. How the fuck would you have done that? He's like, oh, I flew out there and I fucked her in the ass last night. And I'm like, I'm gonna beat your ass as soon as this class gets out. I'm not playing, bro. And I'm just like, I'm so dead ass. I'm looking him in the fucking face. I'm like, I'm beating your ass today. And he's like, no, you ain't. And I'm like, keep fucking playing with me. And so he just, he keeps fucking going on the rest of class, right? And we get to the end of class without me, flipping out on him, right? And we're sitting there waiting for the bell to ring, right? We haven't officially gotten out, but the PE teacher would have us pack up a few minutes early, to get all the gym shit packed up so that he didn't have to do it himself. And I mean, fuck it. I mean, why not? And so we would just have a couple minutes to sit there before he would send us down to the locker room to go change. And so we're just sitting there, and fucking Jared, bro, is just on his shit, bro, just fucking talking about my mom, bro. And I'm like, I'm beating your fucking ass the second we step out of here, bro. I'm so dead ass, bro. Like, I'm not playing. And like, he could you could see it in my face, dude. I was literally fucking shaking with anger, bro. And so the bell rings, and he fucking gets up and he sprints to the locker room, bro. Like, he's in and out of the locker room before I even made it to the locker room, right? And so I'm like, all right. He really is he's gonna run, bro. And so I'm not even rushing, bro. I'm like, fuck it. I'll find him someplace. And so I pack my shit up, I change back, and I leave the locker room, and I go to the front of the school to wait for my ride to get there. And guess who I see sitting there looking all smug and happy with his fucking friends? And I look at him and he sees me, bro, but he doesn't do nothing. You know, he just sits there because he's like, oh, there's all these people. He ain't gonna do nothing or something like that. I don't know what was going through his head, right? But I walk up to him and I'm like, get the fuck up as I'm walking towards him, and I grab him by his fucking shirt, right? And I yank him out of his fucking seat. But he grabs my fucking hair, bro. At the time, I had long ass hair. Like, my hair went below my fucking shoulders. I had long hair. I was growing it to donate to people with cancer, which I did, actually. I did that like a year after this. And so he grabs my hair and he just starts fucking pulling. And so I'm looking at the fucking ground, right? And I'm just like, I'm in my head, I'm like, oh my God, he really is a bitch, bro. He's fucking hair pulling. He's fighting like a fucking bitch. He's hair pulling. And so I just, without even thinking, I fucking swung as hard as I could, nailing him in the fucking eye. And like, he fucking drops and starts like just fucking bawling. And then he runs out of the fucking school doors just screaming like, I can't see. Right. And so there was honestly quite a few people seeing this. And that was the actual fucking like physical altercation, right? But then he goes outside, right? And then one of my older brother's friends saw it all happen, and she ran outside and she was like, yo, your brother just fucking punched Jared in the face, bro. Like, he just socked the fuck out of Jared, bro. Like, you gotta come inside. And so my brother, he's like, what? And he comes fucking running inside, and he's like, yo, AJ, what the fuck happened? Like, what happened? I'm like, bro, he was talking shit on mom, saying mom was a whore, talking about how he fucked mom and shit. I wasn't standing for that shit, bro. I've been putting up with this motherfucker talking shit all year, and since I got here last year, bro, I was done with his shit. I told him, bro. And my brother, he's like, all right, bro, I'm not mad at you. And I'm like, I know, bro. I'm just like, I'm pissed off, bro. He's like, I get that. And so he's like, all right, we need to go find the principal. He's going to find out either way. It'd be better off if you just went and straight up told him. And so that's what we did. Me and my older brother, we went to the front desk, which was literally right by where I punched Jared in the face, right? The front desk lady watched it happen, right? And then she saw me walk over and she's like, what happened? I'm like, he was talking bad about my mom. I told him to stop. He wouldn't stop. Do you know where the principal is? And she's like, yeah, he's in blah, blah, blah room. And we're like, all right, where is that at in the school? And my brother's like, oh, I know. And so I'm like, all right. And so we go and we find the principal. And upon finding him, I'm like, hey, can I talk to you? He's like, yeah, what's up? I'm like, you're going to find out either way. So, we thought might as well just come tell you. I just punched the fuck out of fucking Jared, dude. Like, I looked him in the eye and I just said, I just punched the fuck out of Jared. He's like, what, why? And I'm like, he was calling my mom a whore, talking a bunch of shit about her, bro. And I just told him to stop. He wouldn't stop. I punched him in the fucking face. And he's like, okay, watch your mouth, first of all. And I'm like, I'm sorry. I'm just like, I'm mad, bro. He's like, I understand that, but like, you can't be hitting people. And I'm like, oh, I know that, but I told him to stop. He wouldn't stop. It's the whole respect thing, you know? It's like, you know, you're going to talk shit, but then you get all mad when someone talks shit back and like all this and that, bro. And I wasn't standing for it, bro. And so he's like, all right, well, come with me. And so he took me to the office and he's like, all right, we need to call your parents. I'm like, all right. And so my grandma was already on the way to come get me because my dad was at work. And so I'm like, just call my grandma. Dad's at work. Grandma's already on the way to come get me. And he's like, all right. And so he does that. He calls my grandma. It's like, hey, your grandson, AJ, got in a fight with another kid. And I'm like, no, not a fight. I punched him in the face. He didn't fight back. Cause I mean, he didn't really fight back. He pulled my hair. I don't count that as fighting back. I count that as being a bitch. So, and I'm like, all he did was pull my hair. He didn't swing, bro. It wasn't a fight. And he's like, it was a fight. I'm like, all right, whatever. And so my grandma, I hear her. She's like, what the fuck? And like, she's screaming. And he's like, yeah, so if you could come up here as soon as possible, that would be great. And she's like, I'll be there in 5 seconds, bro. Like, because she was literally right up the fucking street. So she walks in and she looks at my brother. She's like, go watch your siblings. They're out in the fucking car. And so she sits down and she looks at me and she's like, what the fuck is wrong with you? And I'm like, he was talking shit on my mom, bro. I'm not going to stand for that. And she's like, I don't care. Bro. And so she starts lecturing me about how like hitting people is wrong. And I'm just sitting there and I'm just like, I can see it on their faces that they're really fucking mad at me, because I know for a fact I had that "I do not give a fuck what you have to say right now" look on my face, because that's how I felt at the time. I didn't give a fuck. I'm just like, I don't care, bro. Like, he ain't gonna talk shit on my mom no more. Fun fact, he never talked shit on anything again. So, but still, like I said, hitting people is not the answer. And so the principal and my grandma, they're just lecturing me. And I'm just sitting there, I'm just like, yep, yep. And so then the principal is like, all right, so now time for punishment. I think 2 days of OSS and then 3 days of ISS is what we're going to give you. And I'm just like, all right, whatever. And my grandma's like, no, not whatever, because I'm going to be putting your ass to fucking work the 2 days that you're at home all day. You're not just going to be sitting around doing nothing. And I'm like, okay, better than being at this fucking shithole. Like, I didn't say that, but like, that's what I was thinking, bro. And I'm just like, okay. And so then we go out to the car. I didn't mention this, but my grandma, because it took a while, they were in there lecturing me and shit for a good little bit. Because they also had to contact Jared's parents. And so they contacted Jared's parents and, like, you know, we're like, hey, you know, we want to meet with you next. I never actually ended up having to meet with Jared's parents, but yeah. Jared later told me that his dad said he deserved it, and that, yeah. But that's again off track. And so, but what I was trying to say was, my grandma, while I was in the office being lectured by her and the principal, texted my brother and told him to drive her truck home, drop the kids off, and then bring the truck back. And so that's exactly what he did. And so he was just sitting outside. And so we leave, and we get in the car, and he's like, so what'd you get? And I'm like, 2 days OSS, 3 days ISS. He's like, damn, bro. And Meemaw's like, it's not fucking funny. Meemaw is what we call my grandma. And she's like, it's not fucking funny. And I'm like, and he's like, oh, I know, but I'm just, you know, I just wanted to know. She's like, yeah, it's not funny. And he's like, I know. Okay, I'm sorry. And like, she was fucking furious. And so then we got home, and when we get home, she looks at me and she's like, you're telling your father when he gets home. And I'm like, okay, because I'm still just like, I don't give a fuck. Because honestly, at that point, I thought my dad would be on my side, because it's like, you know, that's the mother to his children that kid's talking about, right? He was not on my side, bro. He got home from work. He was in his room. I knock on his door. I walk in there, and I'm like, I got suspended from school. And he's like, you what? And I'm like, yeah, I punched Jared in the face. He was calling mom a whore and talking bad about her. So I punched him in the fucking face, and he got pissed off. I got grounded for only for 2 weeks. Something like that. It wasn't that bad of a groundation, I'm gonna be honest with you. But yeah. Like, I'm just trying to think back to like the specific punishment they gave me. All I remember was that I had nothing at all for 2 weeks, and then I had to slowly earn my shit back bit by bit, right? So for 2 weeks I had nothing, and then I chose my first thing that I wanted back was my bike, so that I could go ride my bike, because I didn't really have any friends out there yet. I had a few, but like, they were really only school friends, because my parents didn't like my friends. And then the next week I was like, oh, I want my phone so I can listen to music and shit. And, you know, and then after that, you know, I just got all my privileges back. And so that's like kind of the end to the story. That's not the full end though. So later on, like a week after the incident, I got an email from Jared. Very obviously that he was forced to send it, bro. Like, it just was not the way that he talked at all, bro. And then, like, it was like, dude, I was about to say I could probably log into the email and get the exact words, but no, I don't go to that school anymore. It's disconnected. Deactivated. That's the word. But it was like some real heartfelt sounding shit. Like, it was a genuine apology, but I could tell that he did not want to send it. He was forced to. And so when I ended up being allowed back to school, bro, like, you know, normal classes, I talked to him. I walked up to him. I'm like, did they make you send that email? He's like, yeah. I'm like, but are we cool though? Cause like, if you don't talk shit on my mom, then like, we're good. Like, no more talking shit and we'll be good. He's like, yeah, bro, I got you. And we kind of became friends, but like, not really. more just acquaintances. We were no longer beefing. Um, but yeah, that's the end of the story, man. There's nothing else really to the story. Um, I hope you guys did enjoy, man. My bad. My head's like kind of all over the place this morning, or well, this afternoon. But yeah, I will see you guys tomorrow, 100%. I'm enjoying doing these. Yeah, if you did enjoy, make sure you leave a like, a comment, subscribe. Check out my other platforms. I'll be live on Twitch right after this goes up. Um, I don't know what I'll be doing. Maybe playing games, maybe working on beats, maybe, doing reactions. But yeah, you should definitely check it out. Make sure to join the Discord and check out my TikTok too. I hope you guys enjoyed. I will see you all tomorrow.